On the live line with us this morning, as we've talked to before, Dr. Gary Lacefield. He heads up the mediation arbitration program at Tarleton State University. Doc, we are fired up to hear about knocking on the door and asking for a raise. We're hearing good news financially about companies. Is now the time? And what are the do's and don'ts for asking for that raise?
Well, good morning. The do's and don'ts, well, first of all, let's start with the don't. The don't is don't walk into your boss's office and say, I need a raise because so-and-so's making more than me. Or I need a raise because I've been here X period of time. Always. You want to make sure that you have a secluded place. You want to make sure that you're prepared. Now, let's talk about the preparation. The preparation, if you're going to ask for a raise, is number one, what you should do is start with from day one, is documenting either with a diary or a journal all of the things that you've done and that you do over the course of time that's kind of above your pay grade. So you were hired to do X, and so, but as we all know, we get into the job and you end up doing X, Y, Z. And so document those things because your boss is likely not to remember those. Your boss is likely to remember the things where you screw up, but they may not remember all of the great things that you did. And so you want to document, you want to prepare your case so that when you walk in and want to ask for a raise, you're asking for a raise that you can prove that you deserve, not one that you're entitled to.
So that kind of goes against, there are a lot of things that I guess we sort of grow up thinking that if we've been there longer than we automatically are those people that should get the next raise. And it's more than obvious to everybody that we're the smarter employee on the floor. So documentation is an important thing to do. Any tips about the best way to do that without looking like you're boasting, but you're just trying to show your due diligence?
Right, and there's a fine line between bragging and really talking about the things that you've done. If you've done them, then it's not bragging. And what you want to do is just to document those things so that, well, let me give you a good example. I talk to students all the time, and one student might tell me that, well, I just had my 6-month review, and the boss said, well, I'm a really good employee. I show up to work on time, and I do those things, but, I really haven't indicated that I'm good management material or that I've done anything above and beyond. Yet, what the student shared with me is that every other week, this person's boss left early on a Friday to go play golf and sent an email to everybody in the company saying, hey, so-and-so's in charge. Well, if you're in charge, then that employer is giving you duties and responsibilities that are above what you're normally hired to do. Document those things because they're not going to remember them.
Is there... we have seen this slow...
We're still there?
Yes. We have seen this slow economic growth in the recovery of the economy, slower than what many economists think is normal. And I think it makes some people very reticent to go in and ask for that raise because they remember all of their coworkers who were put out of jobs. I mean, how do you bolster your own confidence in an economy that even now, as we take a look at the market and some of the things that are going on, not everybody is completely confident in?
Right. Well, obviously, first of all, you want to make sure that you're not asking for a raise when you haven't been, to work on time. You haven't been doing what you've been hired to do. Now, setting that aside, and you believe that you have earned a raise, then you document those things because when you go in and you make your plan, you make your argument to your employer knows that you're a known quantity, that it's a much less risky option to give you a raise than it is to hire someone else who you may end up having to pay more for anyway, and that they're an unknown quantity. You want to stress the good points, and even if you've had a mishap during the course of the previous review period, then what you want to do is to go through that and point out that, you learn from that mistake. You learn from that experience.
Dr. Gary Lacefield, an expert on business negotiations and professional communication with Fox News Radio. Thanks for your time this morning. Wood Radio News time is 8:11.